Okay, hi everybody. Welcome to this discussion about the Healing Circle. We concluded a wonderful series of episodes on the Healing Circle 2022. We had actually 22 discussions or meetings of the Healing Circle in 2022. Such an interesting coincidence. And we did a whole vast range of topics, starting from releasing feelings and understanding emotions and moving through pain, to more topics based on self-love, understanding self-love, practicing self-love, and then being able to love one another. I have a group of wonderful women here who were participants in the Healing Circle 2022, who have come here very generously and graciously to share their experiences at the Healing Circle. So I want to extend my warm welcome to all of you. Welcome. We have Rajee Kumar here. Hi, Rajee. And then we have Valli Sadayappan here. Hi, Valli. And we have Aarti Iyengar here. Hi, Aarti. Welcome to this conversation on the Healing Circle. And this is going to be a very informal conversation where all of you, I'm hoping that all of you share whatever is genuine feedback, right, so that the listeners benefit and maybe they get motivated, other women get motivated to join the Healing Circle as well in 2023. So let's, just for the benefit of those who are not familiar with what the Healing Circle is. So Healing Circle is a fortnightly group that of women. We meet, and the motto of the group is to learn together, to love together, and to support one another. So as part of that, we learn a host of techniques. We learn and practice group meditations. We do group exercises. So there's a lot of learning that happens in the Healing Circle meetings. And then we love one another. We start that with learning how to love ourselves. So we do a lot of self-love exercises. We've done specific classes on self-love. And we also extend that whole format of loving one another by showing our support to each other through the buddy group. So we have buddy groups that we meet every other week, and we support other women who are part of the Healing Circle in their own healing journey. And it's a very non-judgmental group. And as you listen to each of these wonderful women present here, you will realize how non-judgmental they are, kind and generous ladies. And so I'm very, very fortunate to be part of this group and have these wonderful ladies as part of the Healing Circle. So with this introduction, I'm going to hand it over to first Rajee. Rajee, if I may just put you on the spot. What is your takeaway? Maybe you can share a little about the Healing Circle to the listeners. What did you find beneficial in the Healing Circle?
So to me, I look at Healing Circle as an investment in myself. And just like I go to the gym to work out on the body, and when I go to the gym, and not having worked out for X number of years, if I go to the gym, I don't expect to be transformed overnight. It's a work in progress. The key is the commitment on a regular basis. At the end of the day, whether it's your body, your mind, your spirit, your emotions, any of that, your relationships, every one of them take work. And to me, in the Healing Circle, having some of my friends and also making new friends was a big part of how I started to see myself, and also the value of investing time and energy in making myself who I want me to be. And the other half of the coin was learning to accept me for who I am. And, irrespective of who else accepts me, I want to be able to accept me for who I am and celebrate who I am today.
Such fabulous words, accepting yourself for who I am and just learning to love myself. These are practices. It's not something that we can just get started and we can't just say that, oh, we have completed accepting ourselves, because it's a journey, it's a process. And being part of the Healing Circle, and I know I have learned a lot to accept myself and to love myself a little bit more. as being part of the healing circles. Thank you, Rajee, for sharing that. May I ask Valli, next, what is your takeaway from the healing circle, and how did you feel that you benefited?
So, I am a little fuzzy because I'm coming out of 2 months of COVID and things, so it's going to be a little fuzzy. So I'm trying to get back to normal. But Healing Circle has, I think Rajee verbalized it so beautifully. It's an investment in ourselves, and I learned a lot. I think one of the things that I learned was, a simple thing that we talked about was loving ourselves. And that was a very hard thing for me to do, because I think as women, we are conditioned in a certain way. And, we had that discussion about where is that line of, is it selfish or it is not? And we went into depth about all that. And that really, I started practicing a lot of that self-love, which I've never done before. So that was one of the many things I took. The other thing that I think also resonated, helped me a lot, was about the forgiveness. But, forgiving ourselves and forgiving others. And letting go of the stuff. You feel so much lighter, and I've really tried to practice that throughout, right? So there are many things that I learned, and these two, I have to say, are uppermost in my daily, loving, which is loving ourselves in terms of exercise, eating well, always trying to. That is something I try to do daily. Forgiveness is a little hard, but I'm working on that. And so there are many other things too. I think we talked about grief, and which again was a really lovely topic. I mean, to me, it really helped me a lot about grief and how to deal with grief and loss, and also about our ancestors. That was also because it's something I do every day. So that really, whether it's my grandparents or my parents and my in-laws. So that was asking them for their guidance. So a lot of these things, I wish I had put all my thoughts together, but these are the things that are jumping out at me, and I'm just rambling right now. So in a nutshell, it has helped me tremendously. It is an investment that I made in myself, and I hope I can continue to do this.
Thank you, Valli. And thank you for mentioning the topics of forgiveness and connecting to ancestors. I think those are really powerful topics. Forgiveness is one thing that I believe that is just part of self-love. Because when we practice active self-love, we really learn how to forgive ourselves for whatever mistakes that we think we have made, whatever regrets we think we have, we have had, or whatever else that has happened in our lives that we need to forgive ourselves for. And many a time I find that we women, and even I need to teach, I share it with my daughters as well. But for us, all of us, I think if we don't forgive ourselves, we can get into resentment over time, or we can get into a kind of self-loathing over time, and we don't even realize that we are doing that. So it's very, very important for us to practice self-forgiveness actively on a regular basis. And that was one of the things that we talked about in the Healing Circle. And again, it's a practice. It's not something that can be done in a day and completed, right? It's a practice, and it is hard. These are hard topics. Forgiveness is very hard, and connecting to our parents and ancestors can be hard too, especially when we have had tough childhood, or if we had distressing situation as we are growing up. Then making that effort to connect with them and go to that part of our life with love, with forgiveness, and with acceptance. That is again something, but it's a very much an important part of our healing process. So thanks, Valli, for sharing that. Yeah. I invite Aarti now. Aarti, would you like to share something about what is your takeaway from the Healing Circle?
Yeah, sure. So I got introduced to the healing circle through certain situations in my life that kind of made me embark more strongly on this journey of self-discovery. And of course, I knew Lata Akka, and she's been a pillar of support through that journey for me. But that's how I got introduced to the healing circle. And I think my biggest takeaways from the healing circle has been really discovering. So we all, acknowledge that we live in a world with people meaning others, like maybe a spouse and kids and family and friends. But I think where we forget is including ourselves. So we need to first learn to live with ourselves, as in really understanding that person that is ourselves. We forget that. In fact, I write affirmations every day, and I used to always write my kids and my blah and the blah. But now in the last 5, 6, 8 weeks, I've started first writing myself and my blah, 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 blah. So that is something I discovered and learned the value of very, very strongly in the last 3, 4, 5 months that I've been associated with both Lata Akka as well as the healing circle. I think, just like Valli said, I think I used to not understand how self-love can be anything but selfish. But now I have all the more understood how self-love is really that basic prerequisite that if you don't have, then you cannot really understand what it means to forgive, or even try to. You cannot understand what it means to accept. So it's such a basic prerequisite. And I used to struggle with understanding that connect, but I think I'm slowly getting it now. And I think, being part of the healing circle, again, I know I haven't been very regularly as part of the healing circle, but being part of the healing circle and hearing what others are saying about their experiences or how they have embarked on that journey or how they've benefited has really been very eye-opening to me. And for me, again, the two main things that are big takeaways from here are self-love, self-care, and forgiveness, because I think that's kind of the starting point to really helping yourself get rid of all that baggage that we are carrying, right? We try to carry all this thing. And I think they're probably great starting points. So that to me has been the biggest takeaway from the healing circle.
Thank you, Aarti. Thank you. And it's very interesting you mentioned the word baggage, because in my opinion, healing is all about taking out the baggage from inside you and just keeping it down there. That's all healing is, just cleaning up your internal baggage and learning how to releasing it. And while it's so easily said, the actual practice of it is extremely hard. So the main purpose of forming the healing circle was to support one another. So maybe we could just speak a little bit, and Rajee, maybe you can answer that with saying, how do you think the healing circle as a group format supported you in your healing journey?
I think it was really nice to see that my contemporaries were like me, all of us were on a journey, and there are a few things from the various healing circles that kind of stood out in my mind. And one was when you talked about how if there's garbage in the house, you don't just keep it. You go through it, you recycle it, do what you need to do. It's very similar. All the emotions, all the memories, the feelings that you have, all of that, when we shared, it's almost like an aha moment that all of us are on the same journey. The camaraderie and the understanding of each other and the support that we got from each other was phenomenal. For me, the biggest aha moment was understanding the difference between anxiety and fear. And one of my favorite sessions was the inner child, connecting with the inner child. I had never thought about that. and that brought up so many I wouldn't call it repressed, but forgotten memories out, and helped me see the journey that I had up to this point that impacted, everything that I am. And again, when I stand on the scale, I know how much my physical body weighs, but only I know what's in here, right? And it's the lighten the load, as you're healing, your physical body, it's important to heal all other aspects of your life. And again, the support and understanding that I had in the group was phenomenal. And especially when everyone shares, it's like you learn so much from each other.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. You described it so beautifully well that when you heal, it's not just healing the body, it's healing all parts of ourselves, healing the mind, healing the emotions, healing our relationships, and all parts of ourselves. Thank you, Rajee, for sharing. Valli, do you want to add anything to this? How did you feel supported by the group, by the other women?
So it's interesting because I'm a person that I get anxiety in a group. I can do one-on-one, and I think Rajee knows. Like, I cannot speak in public. I will not. But on one-on-one, I'm fine. So it was a little hard for me at the beginning, talking, and then I realized, as Rajee said, that all of us are on the same journey, and we are all trying. That everybody was so supportive, and so I think towards the end I opened up a little more, and I felt safe in that environment, and especially when you would have us in breakout rooms where we would have just one person, where we would really open up at that point, and I got to know them better and they got to know me better. So I think we became a nice group, and I feel very safe in that group, and it helped me a lot, just in terms of my anxiety and opening up, and it was good. It was a good experience. It was a great experience for me. Yes.
I'm so glad you mentioned the aspect of safety, because that was one of the intentions of the Healing Circle, that we bring an environment of safety and being non-judgmental. And we were so fortunate to have such wonderful women there who supported that intention and came forward with being really there for one another. And that's really priceless, in my opinion. Thank you, Valli, for sharing. Aarti, do you want to add something to this?
Yeah, for me, just knowing that I'm not alone, because as I said, criticizing myself comes very easily to me. And knowing that I'm not alone, knowing that I'm not the only one making mistakes, knowing that I can also, move on, change, improve, whatever it be, and it's all okay. That came to me as I listened. I know I played more of a listening role here, but as I listened to others, that became very, very apparent, and that was very, very helpful. Otherwise, often most of us are not very willing to be very authentic and vulnerable about these things, right? We all want to kind of safeguard what we feel. But I think in here, everybody was talking about similar emotions, and that was very helpful.
Yeah, and again, you mentioned a valid point that we find it difficult to be vulnerable. I know I am one of them. I find it very difficult to be vulnerable. And over the years, I have tried to make myself a little bit more vulnerable than before. And having a group like this makes it much more easy. So Rajee, is maybe if you can share a little bit about the format of the Healing Circle for somebody who's coming in new. What does the Healing Circle look like? Like I've shared that we do a fortnightly class every other week, but in addition to that, anything else about the format of the Healing Circle, and what parts of the format, the structure really appealed to you, what you really liked? And maybe you can also share what are the things that you would like to be seen differently or doing differently in this 2023.
So what I liked about the format was the group and everybody coming on video. So, I mean, I feel like we judge ourselves more than we judge others. And to me, the fact that women were open to coming on video and sharing of themselves, that was a huge this thing plus of the format that we had. And like Wally mentioned, the breakout rooms where we had one-on-one, that was another really nice format. So the most of the healing circles started with you introducing the topic, doing a recap of the previous week, and also the fact that, and then introducing the new topic where we all participated. That was really nice. And I also love the fact that we stayed in touch with our buddies during the week in between. And the key, again, as I emphasize, it's not an overnight turning over into a new leaf. It's a process. And it's just like you commit to going to the gym 4 days a week. And if you stop for a month, you fall off the wagon. This is a commitment to yourself, and it's a commitment for life. And having the buddies talk to you, as well as being reminded constantly with your emails and WhatsApp messages, kept us on track. That's what I felt. In terms of the topics, you covered a wide range of topics, whether it was releasing the negative emotions. And again, the releasing the negative emotions is to lighten your own load and for you to be able to move forward in your journey so that the emotions are not weighing you down and holding you at a point. And then moving on to connect, like Valli mentioned, with the grandparents, with the inner child, and the self-love and connecting with each other. All of those I felt were like a global journey into yourself. And we literally looked at pieces and parts of ourselves that we cleaned up and started to heal.
Oh, such a beautiful, I would like to highlight that sentence that you said, going a journey into yourself and cleaning it up. That's such a beautiful, yeah. If you can you repeat that sentence once again for the sake of our listeners?
I may not use the same words, but I just felt like, the whole year felt like a journey into myself and, picking each area to examine, heal, and clean up and lighten the load to walk further in this journey.
Very beautifully said. Thank you, Rajee. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else would like to comment on the format or the structure? Valli, Aarti?
Rajee beautifully said it. And the only thing I'd like to add is that I like the fact that you took one topic and we dwelled on that for a few weeks. So it gave us a lot of time to think on that instead of going, that gave us a lot of time to think about it for the next week. And we went deeper and deeper into that one topic. So in depth, I liked that format too, that it, and a deeper understanding. So when Rajee says going into myself and examining, so we took each like the head and we examined the head and went into it, and then we went to the limbs and did so. I like that format a lot, and it helped me.
Thank you, Valli.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Aarti?
Yeah, what I wanted to add is, everything that everybody said, but the one thing that stands out to me is the session where, for instance, the topic was a very heavy topic, and you understood that it could be very bogging on the mind, and you reached out after the session to me for sure, and I'm sure you must have done that to others too, asking how we were and if we needed to maybe talk to you, if there was any additional support you could be providing. That, I think, to me was very, very touching, because I think it really showed the care and the connect and the healing, the true, I guess, the true essence of healing, right? It wasn't just in the context of the session alone, and then now you're left to fend for yourself.
Thank you, Aarti. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, so I'm going to invite Bharathi now. I know you've just joined in, Bharathi. and you choose to be on audio, and I really respect that. So do you want to share about what was your takeaway from the Healing Circle, and what about the format and the structure of the Healing Circle most appealed to you?
Well, the most that appealed to me was going inwards and helping me find my pain and the root cause of the pain. And the second was how to forgive those around us. And we all carried a baggage, a huge amount of baggage, and slowly it helped me release that baggage. And now I know when I meet somebody and they open up, and I feel I am not qualified to help them as you are. So I just guide them to you, and I say, this is one person who can help them out from their situation, or how to look at it from a different perspective. So that really helped. At least I am able to, view my strengths and my weaknesses. It's very obvious now. So yes, and then reaching out, as Valli mentioned, reaching out when it was very heavy on all of us. That showed your compassionate nature to all of us. So that helped.
Thank you, Bharti. Thank you. Anything else about the Healing Circle, Bharti, that you want to add on in terms of what part of the structure or format that you appealed to you? Did you like the meditations? Did you like the activities? Did you like the breakout sessions? Did you like the buddy, grouping? And which of the topics in the Healing Circle was one of your favorites?
I like the opening meditation that in every session, and that there was recording provided to each one of us to go back to the mails via mails to look at it. And the buddy system really helped, because midweek we would be in one crisis. I wouldn't say crisis, maybe like we needed additional support. So the buddies really helped. I could reach out and text them and ask, are they free? And with the buddies were rotated, so one person was not. We could hear different perspectives for the same situation, so that helped, opening up to the buddies as well, and they provided whatever support they could, and so that part helped. And yes, the forgiveness sessions, those are very helpful. The format was great as it is, so that was good. The activities and the breakout room, see, it was not just a one-way lecture. The activities help to um, really use what techniques that we learned in our day-to-day life. And I think the one thing that I've been practicing throughout these sessions was self-care. If not, I was, until the weather turned muggy, I was going for walks every day, and almost regularly I try the morning meditation. That has helped.
That's awesome.
Techniques.
Yeah. And thank you for mentioning about the activities. I just want to kind of give a disclaimer. Initially, when we started the Healing Circle, we didn't have so many activities. We didn't have the breakout rooms. And I remember that the first topic on releasing feelings was pretty heavy. And I sensed that it was getting heavy and difficult. And I reached out to a couple of you, and thanks to all the fabulous feedback that I got, I was able to restructure the sessions to include more activities, keep it a little lighter on the load, do more buddy work, do more breakout sessions. I think that was really priceless, getting that feedback from all of you. And that is something that I hope to be doing in 2023, because I am learning. Just like all of you, I'm learning how to do this work as much. And the goal for me is that we all are able to learn together, love together, and support one another. So that's the main goal of the Healing Circle. So thank you so much for pointing that out. So for the next year, that is 2023, I mean, we are already in 2023. I have some fabulous topics lined up, and I think I shared with all of you in the last session. One was the loving ourselves realistically, the past has no power over me, and then overcoming resistance to change. I think that is a big one for me. How to actually change, creating a new life, bringing more boundary setting into our lives, bringing healing into our relationships, into our mind, into the work. So we have a couple of fabulous topics lined up for 2023. So here I just want to kind of throw it open to any of you who want to share what topics really appeal to you. Are you interested in the topics lined up for 2023, or would you like to see some of the older topics repeated again, but going more deeper, like topics of self-love? Anybody wants to share?
So even before we go into the 2023 topics, one of the key things that I wanted to mention is the fact that you ran this workshop throughout the year with a continuum of meetings face to face, as well as contact with buddies and the WhatsApp, the emails. I feel like I don't want to use the word change. I felt like the growth is happening on a continuum. And that kind of a support system moving forward is important, not to let all that learning and all that, growth go wayside in 2023. So it's really important to feel like you picking up your process and continuing the journey. So to me, I'm not sure if I'm thinking of a structured plan for 2023, but I want to find a way to continue the journey, be reminded of it on a regular basis, to meet and discuss on a regular basis, to say, hey, where am I today? And what is it that I need to do tomorrow? Just like a tickler on a regular basis.
Absolutely. And thank you so much again for pointing out about the fact that we did it throughout the year. So for some of you might not know, this 2022 was the second year of the Healing Circle. I started that in 2021. And 2021, the format was different. We didn't do it throughout the year. Rather, I invited people for every Healing Circle episode. And I had to do a lot more work because I was inviting people to come, and there would be some who would attend 1 month and then some who wouldn't attend. And my learning from that experience was that when we have a workshop format and then there is a very flexible structure, the commitment is not there for the group. And when we are not committed to coming on a regular basis, we are not able to give ourselves the healing that we need. So that is why in 2022, I came out with this fortnightly structure. And I understand, of course, that it's not possible for everybody to attend every single fortnight. So that's why I provided the option of, having recordings and listening to the recordings. I hope that was helpful to all of you. But the whole goal of that process was so that we can commit as much as possible to a regular and consistent, attendance of the classes and practice of the teachings, supporting one another, supporting the group. That way, the healing process is more consistent and the growth is happening. Like you mentioned, growth happens gradually, but consistently. And by the end of the year, we see ourselves changing in small places in different ways.
I would say change is the wrong word there, because I'm perfect. I don't need to change, but I want to grow, and I want to grow in new ways. And I feel like the growth on a continuum is happening there.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much for sharing. Anybody else wants to add anything else?
A better version of myself. That is what I felt. And trying to use very consciously, being mindful about the choice of words that I've been using over the last 1.5 years that I've been working with you. So I can see the change. I would say probably a better version of myself now that Rajee pointed out. So so that growth has been noticeable, because my kids say, Amma, any other time you would have yelled at us. How come you're not yelling? I said, well, I'm mindful and conscious of the choices of words that I use. So that is helpful. Very consciously, I'm mindful of that.
And this is huge, Bharti. consciously working towards our healing process and helping ourselves in the growth process. Again, that is huge. It's not easy, but I think doing it as a group makes it a little bit more easier, keeps the motivation going and keeps the momentum going.
Yes,
So.
and having it every alternate Wednesday was like I used to forget the dates and the times. So then I started working on myself, kept alarms for every Wednesday so that it will ring. And for some reason, I'm still stuck on Tuesday today, and I'm wondering why am I still on Tuesday? So that most of the days I try joining in on time for my classes, and this has helped. Yeah.
Yeah, this has been such an awesome discussion. So one final question, or I know I invite comments from you about what would your words of inspiration be for other women who probably need and would benefit from a support group like ours? What would your words of wisdom be for them? Anybody?
One thing that I felt for, and I truly believe and tell other women, is that this is a very very small and very caring support group that we have here, and we work together as buddies and help each other become better versions of ourselves. So if you have any and feel that lack of support in any area of your life, I think this is the best place to come and find yourself.
Thank you, Bharathi.
I would say, it's time to make yourself a priority in your life and invest in yourself. And whatever it takes, just that commitment in time, the commitment in, saying that I'm going to do this, that's a big step towards the self-discovery process. I like the way Bharti said, better version of me. And that's exactly what we want. As I said, we judge ourselves a lot more harshly than we judge everyone else around us. And this process is really important for us to recognize ourselves, to celebrate ourselves, and to heal areas where we need to heal. And you have to make yourself a priority, and you have to make yourself an important, commitment to say, this is my journey, and I need to invest in my journey.
Very beautifully said. Make yourself a priority and give yourself that commitment for healing. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
And on a personal note, Lata, I have known you all your life. And I am so proud of who you've become, and the roles have been reversed. And I'm so grateful for you to have come back in my life and held my hand through this journey.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Raj. Valli, do you want to share your words of wisdom to other women?
I loved what Rajee said at the end, and I feel the same way. I haven't known you all my life. I've just known you for 1 year, but you've helped me tremendously in many areas. And I don't know, the question that you asked was, how do we inspire other people? I don't know how you do that, but for me personally, it has opened me up to, for example, just the topic of loving ourselves. I didn't know what that was. And that has healed me so much, just that topic, right? And then you talked about forgiveness. And so this has helped me in so many areas that I was not aware of. So I think, I hate to sound, I don't know if it's, again, but it has made me a better version of myself, as Bharti said. It has made me, I think. And that's actually not for, I hope other people can see that. So Lata, in the end, it's you who has taken us on this journey. And so thank you very much. And I hope we can continue this with you.
And you all have taken me on this journey too. I always believe that I'm a student just like any of you. We are all co-learners in this journey, and we are co-supporting each other, loving each other. I may be a mouthpiece for some of the thoughts and teachings that I share, but I think I'm as much in the work in progress and as much in the journey as each one of you. So I really want to thank you all for being part of my life and being part of the Healing Circle and sharing your experience. So lastly, I just want to conclude with Aarti's thoughts, listening to Aarti's thoughts and any words of wisdom that you may have to share for other women.
Yeah, and again, to start off with, yeah, you've definitely been a big pillar through my journey. When we use the word self-awareness, self-discovery, it almost gives the aura of you need to do this alone. But actually, when you know that there are others and you are able to listen or share and partake, it actually makes that journey easier to walk. So I think that is the big benefit that I have seen, and that I think is the big maybe testimony to something like a healing circle.
Thank you, Aarti. That was beautiful. Yeah, I forgot to switch on the light, and I don't know how you see my face. It's a bit in the dark. But as I was just thinking about switching on the light, I realized that is what the Healing Circle is. It's just going and learning to get up and switch on the light. All that we do is that light is there, the switch is there within us, and we switch on the light, and suddenly we find the world seems different. We seem different. Our relationships seem different. And we are far more uplifted, more enlightened, and more inspired to actually live our lives purposefully, lovingly, contributing to the world and making the world a better place. Any other last thoughts anybody else wants to share before we conclude? Anybody else? So that's it. This is just fantastic. I love the silence too. I think the silence is as much part of the conversation. And that's why we start all our Healing Circle with meditations, breath awareness, visualizations. Sometimes we do it even towards the end. But silence is as much part of it because that helps us go within ourselves and reflects on our journey. So I really want to thank all of you. Thank you, Rajee. Thank you, Valli. Thank you, Aarti. And thank you, Bharathi, for coming and generously sharing your time, sharing your thoughts, and sharing your love, which is so much in abundance with all of us and with the listeners. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.